Ho, ho, ho! Welcome to the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club, boys and girls. Your number one stop for jolly reviews of Christmassy volumes, arcs, or stories that us or yourselves choose, if you're good. You can find us live every Wednesday on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and the replay on all podcast networks. Please put your hands together for your hosts, Shane, Phil, and Scott. Put on your Christmas hat and get yourselves warm as it is time to join the herd.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. If you don't recognise my voice by now, or my face, my name's Scott. I'm joined by Shane.
Hoi hoi.
Philippe.
Hello.
And Herd's choice winner for the Christmas pick, my very good friend Liam.
Heidi ho ho ho!
Whoa, whoa, look at that. For everyone listening on the podcast, as you said, the final ho, his beard lit up with Christmas lights. That's amazing, look at that.
I'm so jealous.
Oh my god. Wow, now I need to grow my beard.
Yeah,
Liam, can you send me a link where you bought them? Because I want them too.
I got them as a Christmas present last year. Sorry, Phil.
So can they send you the link? Perfect. Lee, fantastic to have you here. Thank you for putting in a vote for Herd's Choice and for actually saying yes to coming to join us as well. You came last for Batman Creature of the Night.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
and now,
correct.
this time, for Christmas month, you have stayed with the theme. You have gone ahead and picked Friday, Book 1, the first day of Christmas. We are covering issues 1 to 3, and this was written by Ed Brubaker, and the art was done by Marcos Martin and Muntsa Vicente. But yeah, Lee, why did you choose this book? Why did you want us to feature this on the hood?
I'll be honest. I just googled like the best Christmas books, and this was one of the ones that came up. It took my attention because of Ed Brubaker, because we've read Pulp on the herd before, and I love Pulp. So straight away I was like, yeah, I want to go for this one.
Cool, man. Great. Yeah, and to be fair, without really saying much, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did pick this one. But before we get into a synopsis, we'll just say hi. We'll just say hi to everyone who's here so far. We got Martin, even all, Happy Herdmas. Yes. Kevin's here. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Die Hard reference number 1. No, it's not that. Is it not Die Hard? Sorry, Home Alone. Home Alone reference number 1. Martin there's loving the beard lights. Connie's here. She says, haven't read along in a few weeks, but I'm here to listen. I'll catch up with the reading at some stage. That's fine. Chill out, sit back, and hopefully we'll give you a good bit of information, a bit of insight into if you want to look at the book or not. And Kevin and Martin are also saying that they want some beard lights as well.
I'm slightly worried though because they're still on. And like, what if is it a fire hazard? Do you have beard oil in there?
No. It's safe. Okay, I promise.
That's
good. Great. Right. So, Liam, would you mind telling us, please, what is Friday Book 1 all about?
So, Friday Fitzhugh spent her childhood solving crimes and digging up occult secrets with her best friend Lancelot Jones, the smartest boy in the world.
I'm the smallest, to be honest. Quite a small boy.
But that was the past. Now she's in college, starting a new life on her own, or so she thought.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Great. Thank you very much, Philip. Let's hear what you thought first.
Well, the first thing is first. This is not really a Christmas story. It has the name The First Day of Christmas. Technically speaking, Christmas is irrelevant in this. It just happens to be a story that happens at Christmas.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter because I really enjoyed this. I found it a really compelling story. It's short, but good, and I want more. But overall, I mean, it's just for me, it's good linear storytelling with a lot of bit of mystery, a bit of intrigue, a bit of magic, and yeah, I was impressed. What I will say, I heard good things about the book before we read this. So whenever it was picked, I went straight on the Amazon and I bought the trade paperback.
Mate,
Oh,
But
nice.
it's one of those ones that like it's smaller than a normal comic.
I know. I was going to ask how big is it, because I went on Amazon and it's about £10, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah,
And I was like, how big is it going to be compared to a normal trade?
it's like, do you know those like I think Marvel do it a lot, where it's like the smaller, like kid size almost kind of books.
Yeah, right.
It's about that, which is okay, but I wish I'd known before I bought it. Then maybe I wouldn't have bought it. If you know what I mean? So it's just like I expected like a regular sized
Yeah.
trade paperback.
How many pages is it? Like it's about 100 pages altogether, isn't it? These
Yeah,
three.
it's 100. Oh, hang on, 2 seconds. 105.
1, 2, 3, 4, no, 105. Yeah. I mean, a standard trade is what, 120 to 140.
Yeah, probably. It's yeah. Well, that's true. It's like remember they're longer issues, so it's 3 issues long. This is a
Yeah.
webcomic first initially, so obviously they published it in OGN format.
Right.
And yeah, I was I say I was surprised. It's different from anything Ed Brubaker we've read before, but it's still good Ed Brubaker in my opinion. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Good pick, Liam.
Yeah, this is like again, like, you know, there's my only other reading of Ed Brubaker is Pulp. I haven't actually got anything in my personal collection that is Ed Brubaker.
Kill or Be Killed. We read that. Didn't we?
Oh yeah, sorry, and that. So like, yeah, okay, so Pulp, Kill or Be Killed, and this, 3 very different styles, I think,
Yeah.
in terms of what the story is about and whatever. But I always enjoy it, and I don't know what it is about how he writes it. I think was Kill or Be Killed, was that a lot of like narration based dialogue, or
I can't remember. Yeah, not.
yeah, and what I'm trying to say is I enjoyed this a lot because of the dialogue heavy kind of thing, and I'm wondering if that's Ed Brubaker's style, and that's what I like, and that's what's drawing me to it. Yeah, but you know, and then I don't know if you guys read this in trade format or like in single issues. I read this in the single issue format, and at the end of issue 1 he kind of tried to describe what he was trying to get out of this book, and he wanted it to be like post young adult kind of genre, which then made me laugh because later on someone also said, isn't that just adult? but he was like, you get what I'm trying to say. It's not quite adult, but it's not quite young adult. It's just a bit after, and I totally get that vibe. It's, you know, it's really cool. It's, you know, it's about these following essentially these 2 people, and they're kind of stuck because they grew up in their, you know, childhood and their teens and whatever. And this is kind of young adult. You know, when I went off to uni and came back for Christmas or whatever, I didn't consider myself an adult. I was 18. You know. On paper, I'm an adult, but not in the real world, you know. I'm 30 now, and I'm still like, am I? No, I'm not. I got flash everywhere. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I digress. I really enjoyed the feel of this book. That's what I'm trying to get at. You know, I'm a big fan of it. Shane?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much I accidentally read on, didn't I? Because I forgot it was only 3 issues. So I have read issues 4 and 5. So that's a good thing. Like, it kept me going. Although I will say, when I did initially pick it up, I read the first page and I put it straight back down again and gave myself a little bit of a break because of the art. It was very off-putting. So that jarred me more than it should have, because, you know, once I got into it, that was fine. I just ignored that, and I just really enjoyed the story. There's so much narration, and the narration is sometimes confusing because you're not sure if it's Friday or if it's someone telling a story. In the first issue, it was a little bit confusing who was speaking, but then once you realize it's just the narrator, it then feels like it was written to be a book, not a comic book, like a novel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine too.
That's fine, but I think I would have enjoyed it more had I not had to look at the faces in this book.
Oh.
It's just the faces, because background's fantastic, like lovely background art, buildings, everything to do with everything other than the human beings in this book, fantastic. They were just very, very jarring for me.
All right. And then Lee, considering you picked it and what you wanted to see it on the show, what did you think?
So I went into this thing expecting like a mystery book because that's how it was sold to me on that article I read. And that's not what I got, but it's not a bad thing either.
It was a bit of mystery.
I was feeling I've lost my words. So I think that what I was expecting is going to be book 2 onwards.
Right.
Book 1 for me feels more like a build-up book. When I finished reading issue 3, my first thought was, is Shane going to like this? Because it's not a complete story yet. In terms of the faces, like I do get what Shane's saying, that they are jarring, but they grew on me weirdly. Like I got used to them, and I just accepted that was the style. But
what helped me get into this was the front cover of issue 1. And just how, like, you saw the shape. It's not very detailed. It was quite far away, the characters, but you saw like Friday's kind of squarish shaped head and whatever. So you go, okay, this is going to be a bit not typical, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did that. I'm glad it wasn't. I think it was maybe Cosmic Ghost Rider or something like that. The cover was absolutely amazing, and then we get inside the book and we're like, wait a minute, like give me my money back, But this was kind of like on par with the inside of the book, and that helped me get into it. And like Liam, I was just like, I'm used to it. Like I'm getting that, Shane, bit jarring, okay, but I got into it and I was fine.
Yeah, I think what helped me was the fact that the colouring was outstanding in this book. Like, just loved it.
See, I really like the art. Yes, it's not the conventional comic book art style. You're not getting real bombastic pages and whatever. But I took it as if like it's more like an illustration than comic book art. I think it's still art, but it's not comic book art as we know it. It's an illustrated story. And because this is the kind of art you would get to know all the kind of like faction, what would you call them, like historical non-fiction kind of comic books. It's the same kind of style, I think, you get on that. Yes, the square head and the weird shape in general is a bit odd, but then it was quirky, and
but like if
that's Friday to me now. Like if you had her normal head, it wouldn't look right. In fact, in the back of the book, they have sketches of different ways that Friday was going to look like, and they're all nice, but they're not Friday to me. Like Friday is the Friday we got.
Square head Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
And I really enjoy the art. Like as Leah mentioned, the colors. Like they do make the art that little bit better. And but yeah, I'm a fan. Well
and there's
done.
snow in it, Phil, as well. So
yeah, that's and surprisingly, my page doesn't have the snow, but I was going to pick one. I know I was going to pick one with snow.
I deliberately stayed away from pages with snow because I thought I would pick the same page as you, Phil.
I deliberately didn't pick the pages myself because I don't want to be like typecast. He's the guy here. He picks snow.
Classic Phil picking all the snow. Let's just say a quick hi to James Excelsior. Hi, buddy. Thank you for joining. And Martin's also saying, I think this story will be a better read as a completed collected edition. There are currently 6 issues out at the moment.
I still can't find issue 6. I looked right before we went live. I looked and I cannot find issue 6.
I'll send you a link later. 6 issues out at the moment, or maybe it's about to come out, but there's definitely an issue 6. So that's book 2 sorted. Maybe will that be the entire story? Will it be more? Who knows? We'll have to maybe cover it on the herd again. Kevin's here saying, I only read the first issue, but I really enjoyed the art for this book, especially the colours. I don't think I'd enjoy this art in a Spider-Man book, though. Can you imagine a square-headed Spider-Man?
There's probably a version of Spider-Man with a square head somewhere, yes. But I was
Probably.
thinking about this because this artist has done Batgirl. I was wondering, Shane, have you come across this artist before? Like, is there a version of Batgirl with this art style? No.
Probably it might have been in the run that I stopped reading when things got a little bit
I just
Square.
like this.
as Kevin is saying, like this, it wouldn't lend itself to the superhero genre. It just wouldn't fit at all. And the fact that they has done this, I'm wondering has he changed his art style himself just for this type of book? So it'll be interesting to find that out.
When would you say this book is set? I want to say like
1974.
Oh, all right.
Is that a guess?
Bang on.
No.
Was it a Friday as well?
Well, they're the class of 73, and so she's gone off to college. So I just assumed it would be
So you
1
actually-
year later.
You actually paid attention then?
I actually read the book. Yeah.
So the 70s. Okay, great. Thank you. Cool. Kev mentioned the colours, and I thought the colour palette was quite simple being used. Like they were all, there wasn't any many gradient stuff going on. It was just like block of colour. Enjoyed it. Not saying I didn't like it. But yeah, I thought it was a cool style, and considering that this book was set in the 70s, specifically 1974. Yeah, I think I think the color palette is spot on and done really well.
I think it's meant to be dark and gloomy, and like the days before technology and bright lights.
Yeah,
It's meant to be kind of like low lighting or something. It's meant to be like that, moody.
well, it is Christmas time, isn't it? It's dark time of year. Yeah,
The fact that
Autumnal, like the perfect color tone for the book. Autumnal did it perfectly, didn't it?
Yeah, the fact that the colours are so simple for the most of the book as well. There's a few pages where they're not, and those pages hit so hard.
yeah. What a fantastic segue, Liam. Because we're gonna go into it now. We're gonna go into our pages. Where are they? Okay, Liam, we'll start with you.
Ooh.
Here we go. You're also joint with Shane, so you can both take your turns there. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so I really like this page because it really demonstrates how good the art can be. The use of colours are good with the darks and whatnot, but what I also liked is that as a reader, like you're reading from the left, and like the left side of the lighthouse is light and safer, and then the right side where we're going is red, which is a warning sign, and we're going into the end of the book from that point on.
Man. Good eyes. Great eyes. That's a fantastic perception of that. I just looked at the right side going, ooh, red, as it's my favorite colour. Yeah, so yeah, brilliant, mate. Yeah, it's a fantastic page. Shane, why did you pick it?
It's got a mermaid on it. No, I'm joking. No, I just thought it was a great way to just get the information across of like the history of the bay and the importance of the lighthouse. Like it was just like Liam said, the contrast between the colours for this splash page was fantastic because you were used to seeing the greys and the whites and the blues, and then you just get all this in a single page, and you get all the information of what's happened, the dangers, why the lighthouse is so important because of the ships that sank, and it just looks so good. That lighthouse, as plain as it is, your eye's drawn to it. With everything that's going on in the background, you're still drawn to the simple lighthouse in the middle.
Yeah, so good. Really detailed page as well. Yeah, and a mermaid, yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, such a cool page. It was definitely one of my contenders for a pick. Phil.
Such a contrast between that page you just had and this. Again, I like that page. I like the page that had the mystery detective novels as well, like the really detailed pages.
Oh yeah.
But there's something about this I really, really enjoyed. I don't know if it's more to do with the story itself. Like these bullies, they were picking on his name's Lance, but it's Sherlock Holmes meets Harry Potter, and they're picking on him, but they throw him in the ice, and she stands up to him. Here she is with her her square head and her bruised and battered knees, and she's just badass. I thought she was really cool, and I just quite like the facial expressions from the two guys in the middle panel, and obviously the guy at the top with his he's a crooked looking nose. One of the noses broke or what, but it just looks really cool. I liked it. A wee drop of blood. It's just simple but effective.
Yeah.
You know.
One thing I couldn't help but notice when we had like this sequence when it was like the little flashback thing that all I could think of was that she looks like Max from Stranger Things.
That's that. Yeah, I was the same. Yeah, 100%. But this, again, for her character as well, like she's obviously wearing hockey gear, but it's like looks like hand-me-down or kind of, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like it's new, top of the range gear, and I think that's just part of her character. If you know what I'm trying to say, like she's not one of the cool kids, and she's badass. I like her a lot. She's cool.
Yeah, Friday is cool. And then we'll move on to mine.
Yes.
Very Grant Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
Psychedelic as hell. I think it was Lee that said it. You know, we have some pages which are so simple and just maybe like mundane in how they look, and then we get to pages like you just had with the lighthouse, and then pages like this, and the double spread pages with the novels and stuff like that going on. This page just totally took me by surprise. It just blew me away. And, I love when artists use objects in the page to break up the panels.
Yeah.
So, on the right side, you've got the kind of snake monster thing doing this big, like, S shape. But there's 4 different panels in that. It's just so clever, and I love stuff like that. It's really cool, and the design and the detail on that snake lady monster, what is it? Is really good. Just fantastic and just trippy as hell.
Surprised Phil didn't pick it. It's got purple in it.
Yeah.
No snow though.
I know.
Snow.
That was the thing. If I had snow, I maybe would have considered picking a snowy pick after all. But no, that was a cool pick. Again, as Leah mentioned earlier on, whenever you have the simple stuff and then bang, you're hit with that, it hits better because you're like, just we're not expecting this one bit.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It just looks really cool. Comes out of nowhere and it looks great.
It does. We have one page as well sent in from Kev. This is his page. This is like really early on in issue 1 where they're doing that flashback thing about people sacrificing their firstborns to be able to get like a spring in the new year. And he said, "This is my page for tonight. I like how the tree breaks up the image. And I've only just noticed the eyes on the tree." Thank you, Kev. Yeah, really cool page. Again, a similar thing to what I've just said, and I like how that the tree is breaking up the page instead of just straight lines.
But as he mentioned, like the eyes on the tree, that's one of the things that it leaves as a mystery in terms of like the owls, for example, appeared randomly and they're always watching. You also have the eyes here in the tree, so there's something always watching these two people, and it's just you want to find out what that is. Hopefully we do.
Yeah. Hopefully we do.
If it even means anything, it might not. It could just be there because they like the look of the eyes on the tree.
Yeah. Martin is commenting on your page there, Phil, saying, "Oh, it looks like Malfoy got his nose busted," and and then he's agreeing with me as well, saying he got Grant Morrison vibe from the page I picked as well. Connie is saying, as she hasn't read it, "Looking at these pages, this book looks way more interesting than its cover had led me to believe." Honestly, Connie, don't judge a book by its cover. You can't. Yes, so story time. What did we all think of the writing? Liam?
I really enjoyed the writing. I know I was expecting like probably what will be in book 2, but overall I did really enjoy this build-up chapter of the series, and it has fully excited me ready for book 2.
Yeah, me too. Sorry. The fact that this isn't just a normal crime type of story, and there is this some sort of sci-fi fantasy. I don't know how to explain this. Just whatever's going on, the mysticism and the all this other extra cool stories that is that you can see they've been on. The double page spreads of the novel covers of Friday and the magical Viking helmet, whatever it was. And come on, Phil.
But all that, as interesting as that is, came second to essentially what was like a love story in terms of their relationship and what it meant. Again, very young adult, obviously. That's maybe the theme he was going for, like it's a young adult or post YA novel or whatever. But they're kind of tangled in this kind of relationship, and her whole time she's going along with his kind of finding the guy who stole the knife, but is thinking, we need to talk, mister, and they never have that chance to talk,
and that's the bit that keeps getting to me.
Yeah, but the thing is about the book, it is the reason why it feels short to me, and I'm a wee bit different than Shane. Like, he likes to start, middle, and end, and I do too generally, but I don't mind a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But we didn't get anything to have a cliffhanger. Well, maybe that. Yes, he was attacked at the end, but there was no like a full issue of them two fighting something or having whatever and him getting hurt, and then something else happens. It's like it all leads up to that, and then it stops for the next one. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just giving you all the details, and then all of a sudden he's in the fire at his hut or cabin or whatever. But like, you wanted to see maybe like the guys who broke into his house or broke into the thing, beat him up, hit him whatever they hit him with, or burnt him or whatever it was. You kind of want to see that action and then break off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think there was just maybe one issue too short for the end of this volume. But as Liam has mentioned, it done its job, because I'm looking forward to reading on the rest of the story. And I think Martin said the comments earlier on, like, it's definitely one of those books where when you read the complete story, you'll probably score higher overall. But yeah, done its job. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait. Shane?
Yeah, I was really enjoying it. I mean, I love like Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys anyway, like a good mystery, and she's essentially Nancy Drew, so I was really enjoying it. Again, hindsight, only talking about the first 3 issues. This is not a complete story, so I am obviously adjusting my comments and my scores to match that, because I know obviously what happens afterwards. I'm just trying to filter through, because I read it all in one go, so it's hard to split it up.
I am wondering why you're quiet today.
I don't want to spoil anything for anyone.
Yeah.
So going up to Lance's death, that's the end of issue 3.
Yeah.
There's a spoiler, because I didn't know he was dead. I thought he was still
Come
alive.
on, mate.
No, Rexy's dead
guy's
body.
dead.
I know this. It's one thing I was going to ask you guys. Do you think he is dead? Now I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
yes, she drags him out and his arm was all bent and mangled, but there's still part of me thinking he was just maybe hurt, and like, he would be there for issue 4.
He had very clear, lifeless eyes.
Then I was thinking with the, you're right, they had the eyes, but the previous guy, Weasel, he was also possessed by some sort of whatever it was. I was thinking maybe there's something there too. Like maybe he was on some sort of psychic stun or something or whatever.
So you don't think this is the end for Lance?
Well, Shane's confirmed it now, so yeah. It's definitely.
Oh, has he? Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
But
Yeah, I mean, there are some things I can't say because there are like half my notes I have had to edit.
Redact.
well, it is magic, and she's obviously connected to this white lady. So maybe, like, maybe she brings him back, and they can be together, happily ever after, live in the lighthouse.
No, why?
Live in the lighthouse.
What do you mean? No, that they're destined for one another?
They
Clearly.
most certainly are not.
They
They're
just
best
haven't worked it out
friends.
yet.
No, they're
they're-
best friends. Don't. No.
Yeah. They tried romance and it didn't work, Phil.
Because they're best
Because Lance
friends.
didn't know what to do. Like, they need to try it again. Push through that. We've all seen Friends. I've seen Ross and Rachel trying to push through that barrier. This is the same thing. Push through it. Find true love.
we may have burst Martin's bubble as well, and he said, I thought he was still alive, but no now.
Okay, so I mean, has anyone read issue 3 where you see the final page of issue
Yes.
3 is her saying, "What have I done with his body there?" So it's no spoiler. You know,
Yeah.
she finds him dead, gets attacked, and then goes to drag him out when she regains consciousness. So
Yeah.
you know, even if he was alive when she first found him, another 20 minutes of that,
I don't know. I still think she was maybe trying to save him. But she did mention in the story a few pages earlier somewhere, I can't remember where it is, that she was too late to find the guy, too late to stop this, or too late to save him, or whatever. So maybe yes, but maybe it's just me thinking that these two lovebirds need to get together, and he's going to survive this. And yeah, thanks.
Just hopeful thinking.
I so wish I could say something.
No spoilers. No.
Let's just take a 20-minute break. Go read the next 2 issues.
Right, okay. All right, everyone come back. Right, everyone.
I will read them tonight, though. Now that we've talked about it.
Also, Martin earlier confirmed that issue 6 is out, so you can find it somewhere.
I will definitely have a look.
Yeah, I want to come back to Phil talking about the relationship side of things and how that was your... would you say that was your driving force to read the book, or...
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I was interested. Like, yes, it's a mystery novel. Like in terms of these two characters, or like solve mysteries and crimes, whatever, like petty crimes together. But the main crux of the story was these two had some sort of connection that maybe where they didn't, whether they wanted to or not, they had this kind of thing that they needed to explore. And they did try to explore it. Then they felt guilty, and then they disappeared for 3 months. Like that's what I wanted to know about as well as the magical stuff type of stuff. So yeah, I was intrigued. I liked it.
Yeah, issue 1 for me was the big old will they, won't they? You know, what's going on? What is this talk about? You know, what are they going to do? And then issue 2 just goes 0 to 60 into this mental white lady fantastical stuff, which is something I totally didn't expect, especially after reading issue 1 as well. And then issue 2 just ramped it up, and then issue 3 then kind of keeps that going, but then we get back into the relationship side of things and get a bit of, as a reader, I think you're like, oh, get your heart a bit broken, don't you? And you're like, oh, now we don't know how it would have gone. Because he's dead.
like dead.
Never coming back. She killed him. I think obviously from issue 1 you think, because of the talk, you're like, oh, they obviously slept together before she went away to college, and then she never called him or something like that, and you find out they just had that awkward night. But I think Lance's explanation of when she asks, do you love me, and he's like, I don't know. He's like, you're the only girl I hang out with, so is it because of that? You're my best friend. Is it because... He makes some really good points.
Yeah.
He honestly doesn't know what he's feeling, and because he has nothing to go against. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's got no point of reference. So for all he knows, he loves her because she's his best friend, and he can't imagine his life without her. Or he doesn't even know if he's physically attracted to her because he doesn't hang around with other girls. So it was such a honest moment that she was just like, no, I'm not having that. Kiss me, get your clothes off.
Yes,
it was like, hold on. It's like he's just opened up to you. You could have had a conversation first. So that could be why it was awkward as well. She just pounced on him. Yeah, she was like a rabid beast.
Do you love me?
She was older than him too. I think, didn't they say something that he was 2 years younger than her or something like this? Or
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry, he was 2 grades ahead in school, but she was older than him. Yeah. So obviously he was more. So I don't know what the age difference is. So maybe he just wasn't ready. But that what you're saying there, Shane's why I quite liked it, and why I think it's like they'll do something together. They'll solve the crime, something will happen, and then he'll realize I do. Yes, you're the only friend, only person I know. Of course, I love you, but
you do basically.
You're
You're the only person I know. Yes, I love you. Yeah.
But she clearly loves him too, because even maybe more than he does, because obviously she's had boyfriends in the story, whereas every time she had them, she's thought about him.
And he was the homecoming king as well.
Yeah, exactly. So she
Yeah,
had
but I don't
everything she
think
wanted.
No, but I think like him, because they hung around with each other for so much time and they, solved crimes together and were very, very close. I think it was a best friend thing. I don't think it's a romance thing. I think,
Yeah.
yes, they might have got jealous when they were spending time with other people, but friends get jealous, when a friend spends time with their loved one because you want to spend more time with your best friend. It's not because you're physically attracted to them. It's because it's your best friend and you just want to be around them. Yeah, look, these two.
I hate it when Liam goes off with his wife and does things. I'm like, come on, man, come and do things with me.
But I think that's what it is. I think because they're children, because they're young adults, I think they confused a friendship love with a romance love, and that's why it was awkward. And I'd like to see them be best friends and not romance.
Now he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead and buried. He performed his own cremation in his clubhouse.
So,
spoiler, is it?
No, you saw him.
did he
He
himself?
didn't cause the cremation.
Or did he?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Dun, dun, dun.
This is why we should never read on. This is the reason, because now we just don't know.
Shane did it by accident.
I didn't say anything. That was just a joke that I was saying about crispy fried Lancelot.
Wow, poor guy.
Crispy fried Lancelot.
There we go. So the book. Any other points anyone else wants to bring up?
How long did it take you to figure out that her mum was gay? Because when she said she was going to see her mum and her aunt...
Wait, what?
Who calls her mum, right, their mum and their aunt, their mum's lover, aunt? You don't. You say two mums, don't you?
I just thought...
I think I was halfway... I think it wasn't until we meet them and she's got her arms around her and I'm like, oh, okay. But that's still weird. You don't call your mum's wife or girlfriend, probably girlfriend in the 70s, but you don't call your mum's girlfriend your aunt, do you?
Yeah. But then,
Maybe
I suppose,
was.
technically speaking, she's not... if you mentioned the 70s where they didn't have same-sex marriage, maybe she wasn't her mum. So she couldn't... on a technicality, couldn't call her mum, But I agree, calling her aunt was slightly strange.
Yeah, it threw me off.
Yeah.
I just assumed her mum and her aunt were spinsters that just lived together in the 70s. She was going home to see them.
But they were both cool, and the fact as well that under the relationship, the fact that they'd said, "Oh, she's fallen out with Lance again," so he's a big part in their lives too. So I think they have a bigger part to play as well going forward, and I like them two together. I thought they were cool. And but you're right, the aunt thing was a bit strange.
I just thought
not the being gay part. That's fine. It's just a weirdness to call them an aunt. I just
thought times were tough, and they just decided to split the rent or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just live together. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think there was any, cahoots going on.
If it wasn't for the fact that the aunt, the word aunt was used, I'd have assumed they were gay.
Yeah.
But because she was called her aunt, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's the real mystery.
Screw the whole white lady thing. Who is Aunt Jodie?
and I know just the person to solve that mystery, but he's dead.
Dead. Oh my god.
So what did you think when you see the crazy guy carving into the tree, and then Friday runs off after him, but the sheriff doesn't? The sheriff just stands there and lets this young girl run after an armed assailant on her own.
See,
and then fully allows the rock being thrown at him as well.
But this is like,
good idea. I've not got a gun. You use a rock in some snow. That's a great idea, Friday.
This is what I don't understand. Like, why were they even? Because they're kids essentially. Like, it's not like he was an official detective or mystery solver guy. Like, just okay, bring your kids to school or bring your kids to work type of thing. Like, yeah, kids, hop along.
I'm going to house with his dad. It's not even his dad.
Exactly. So I'm going to solve this crime. Guy still with a big, massive dagger of a knife. You want to come with me? Yeah, sure. Like, why were they even with the sheriff? He should have entertained that.
Yeah, the
There's-
sheriff is probably like there's probably one police officer in the entire town, and he's like, I don't have time to solve mysteries, kid. Look, just get in the car, we'll do it together. Less paperwork for me. You just do all the work, and I'll just sit back.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he had like 2 lines in the whole book, the sheriff, and they were just like, "I'll get your bag." Of like, putting the bag in the car and then taking her bag out of the
like,
car.
Yeah. Can you
Just
get
leave her
home?
at the
Yeah.
hospital, yeah.
Yeah,
Here's your
are you okay making your own way home?
Yeah.
Like, what
No.
a good cop.
It was 70s, man. It's 1974 to be they have this history though with the sheriff, because when they go through those the novel covers of the adventures they've been on, he appears in one of the covers, the one with the Viking helmet on it. So there's clearly like this history between the three. I don't know if they're freelancers maybe.
Well, if we're assuming it's like a Scooby-Doo sort of scenario, he would have been the one to arrest the culprits. So
exactly.
there would be history.
Yeah. But yeah.
But that
Why
scene,
the
she was badass. That whole like, the sheriff doesn't get him. Lance just sends her like you're my heavy, you're my bodyguard or whatever. You go get him.
Sick him, girl.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what? She got him, and she's badass. I think she's really cool. The other guy I liked as well in the story, done really well, was the guy who was a priest or minister or pastor or something.
Father.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but he hadn't mentioned he hadn't held like a sermon or whatever in years, but he was just there in the church. And the fact that, like, again, very brief appearance, but just like words of wisdom, the fact that like he cared for her type of thing. And she mentioned in the book that like when you go away to a big city and then you come home to a small town like this, you're reminded of what this means, the type of thing. And the fact that he cared for her well-being, but out in the snow. But again, the worst blizzard they've seen in the town in 50 years, whatever it was. It's like, well, surely you need to like drag her inside, like get out of the snow. Stop being silly. You're not going anywhere.
She was 5 minutes away from Lance's. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad he found his dog. I didn't want that left open.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Not will they find will they solve the mystery? Will Father Poole find his dog? What was his name? It doesn't matter. What did you think of the flashback scene then? I know, Phil, you brought it up with your page when when her and Lance met.
I thought there was a couple of different flashbacks. The one I brought up there, obviously, it ties in some of the people. Like that was Wesley's older brother. I forget his name at the minute. Wally, was it maybe Wally?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And had this family, and they refer to them as the richest family in town. And obviously, they acted like the jackasses they probably should be if they're the richest family in town. And I just like the flashbacks are putting things together. Even they did the one later on where she then dated another boy for a few months, and again it brings her and Lance together, which I think it's all leading towards this if he was still alive. But I liked it. I liked that it's able to give you the depth of the character without going too detailed.
Yeah,
And like I say, Friday for me was a cracker character, and there wasn't that much story to be able to tell it. So they told it so well enough that I think that, if you know what I'm trying to say, they used their words wisely, I think. And enjoyed it.
I just realised though, she can't be with Lance anyway, because when she phones him from college at the beginning, she's got a boyfriend in the background. So she's got a fella waiting for her back on campus.
Yeah, but
yes, that is true.
That's not real love, though. So she's still trying to discover what this is with Lance. That's the point I'm trying to make. If they don't end up together, that's fair enough. As long as they both know, so there's no more lingering doubt of, are we meant to be together? Are we meant to be just friends? So I can go and be with these guys, guilt-free type of thing. Because she's obviously.
But what you're saying is she's gone home to see an old flame.
I just think.
Scott took a second to get it.
I've just got it. You're such a bad boy, Shane.
Oh my god.
Dear. What I'm trying to say, in terms of that's why I like this relationship, because they may not end up together, but as it stands with this story, they both just don't know, and they need closure one way or the other. So, because she's obviously been with boyfriends and felt guilty about it, she's with this guy in college, but yet she's going back to see Lance to talk to him about the night before she left. Like, there's just too much in the air, and I like that. Strangely, like, I don't read young adult books like this, but I just really enjoyed that part of it.
But
I will never know.
They'll never know because
Yeah.
he's dead.
Not just dead, he's incinerated, he's ash, he's dust.
Oh my god. Pacing wise, even though this was 3 issues, and I know all of the issues weren't exactly the same length, but they did a lot in 3 issues, and they did it well.
Yeah.
See, that's what I think about Ed Brubaker in general, and even with his other stuff with Sean Phillips, like, they keep things simple and they tell a good story without kind of too much narration. We're trying to build something fantastic. You're getting all the kind of world and the town and whatever else just in these people telling their story. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, they don't have to go into tangents about other things and build it this way. And they just tell the one story, and from that one simple linear story, you're getting everything else. And I just think it's an art to do that you can tell a story and grip a reader without going into too much detail. Like with Marvel, for example, like, you have an event in Marvel and there are a million tie-ins, and they don't add anything, where everything here was utilized and used properly to tell a good story. And I think that's what Ed Brubaker's good at. To be honest.
I think the thing that stood out for me, which I really enjoyed, is that you just follow one character. You know, you don't have 10 different things happening at once. You're only following Friday. We're only seeing what Friday sees. We only know what Friday knows. You know, so you're not bombarded with information. You get to latch onto the character. You get to be Friday in the book, and you get to follow the clues, or whatever she is learning, you're learning it as well. And that's how I enjoy my books a lot. I enjoy reading like a novel, like, for example, when a novel does that, when it sticks to one character, you just enjoy it because you go through it and you get to play detective. You get to put the clues together as you go, and then you get to feel like, yes, I solved it at the same time as the character, or maybe a little bit before. You know, it's just, I thought that was really good.
No, totally. Yeah, I think you know, it can be quite I don't want to say jarring, but similar to that, where you are having multiple characters and you are going back and forth, and it is good that they just stuck with Friday, and the fact that we even, you know, we saw, you know, a bit of Lance's history through Friday, you know, how they met and stuff like that. So very, very cleverly done, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the man knows how to write. What can you say?
Man can write.
He knows how to put pen to paper, that one.
Right, because this was only 3 issues, I think I feel like there's a struggle of some more things to say. So if there isn't anything else to say,
spoilers if you want. Here we go. Next.
He's dead. Are we happy to go into our thoughts and scores? A couple minutes early.
I am. Sure.
Yeah. Liam, all good with you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okie dokie. So, let's do it then. Let's go into our final thoughts and scores. Liam, as you are the guest of honour, would you mind kicking us off, please? And everyone else in the chat as well, you know the score.
Right. So, this was very much a build-up book for me. It was the introduction of Friday, and it was done excellently. The pacing was fantastic. The world building, the character development, brilliant. And above all, I really enjoyed the art and especially the colours used in it as well. I am very excited for book 2, but as I feel that's where it's going to really kick off, I'm going to go with a 7.5 for this one.
Nice. Okay, brilliant. 7.5, thank you very much. Phil?
Yeah, just to kind of echo the similar thoughts, in that I definitely feel like the next part of the story is going to really be telling in terms of, is this going to be a top tier book or not type of thing. And we've seen all the books we've read, you could have a terrible start But if it ends really well, it's fantastic, or vice versa. It starts really well and ends poorly, you're left disappointed. But with this book, we didn't really get this. Not as bad as Naughty List, of course. It didn't just leave you completely hanging, but it's we know there's more to come. I just feel like they could have added more into it to give us a cliffhanger by all means, but give us a little bit more, and then the cliffhanger. I don't know what I mean by that. It's just like I felt unsatisfied in that aspect. But for me, the book is all about the characters, the relationship, or Friday and Lance, and their relationship. The magical stuff all came second to that, but it was good that they had it. Art wise, again, it is jarring, I suppose, the square head and the weird shape in general of some of the faces and bodies. But I really liked it. I thought it was really, I don't know, what's the word I'm thinking of, like endearing or something. Like, just I liked it. It was something different. And again, this art wouldn't lend itself well to like a Marvel or DC bombastic kind of story, whatever.
Nah.
And so I think it suits the story. Ed Brubaker, we've mentioned, we know the guy can write a story. He knows how to pen to paper. I want a bit lower than Liam, but not by much, because I feel like this could be a really good book with a complete story. But for now, the fact that I do feel it's a little bit shorter than it could have been, I'm going with a 7 out of 10.
Awesome.
But great introduction. I definitely want more, so it's done its job. But just overall, I think I'll reserve a higher score for the overall ending of the story.
Cool. So yeah, good decision, I think. Shane.
We all say the same thing at the end, don't we? Because when we've praised a book, there's very little left to say. But I was, like I say, the art at the beginning for the characters I wasn't a massive fan of, but by issue 2, I forgave all that. The background's gorgeous throughout the entire book. The whole city was drawn stunningly. There's a shop window panel. I don't know if you noticed that. I think it was book 2 or 3. And it's the Christmas window with the tree and the little Santa and all the toys. Absolutely beautiful. Story-wise, characters are written so well and natural. Like, their conversations feel real. Nothing felt forced. No one was unlikable. It was just written really, really well. And for 3 issues, that ends on a massive cliffhanger. Like, when you know there's more to come, okay, but I still can't forgive it when you call it a book 1. That's my own pet peeve. That's nothing to do with this book. It's a pet peeve for me. I want a whole story when I pick up a trade. That's just me. But I really, really enjoyed this. I love mysteries, love Nancy Drew, like I say, and the Hardy Boys, and this felt exactly like that, especially when the books opened on the table with all the names of their adventures. I would go back and read all their adventures, so I'm hoping that he's going to be bringing those out at some point, because I will read them.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I will definitely read on, because I have. I have obviously had to change my score because I'm just judging these 3 issues. So I am going to give this a 7.5.
Cool. Great.
I won't tell you which way I've adjusted my score.
Okay, so don't. It's like a movie. I don't want to even know if you liked it or didn't like it. Just leave
I'm
it
not
at
gonna
that.
Just leave it there. Yeah. No scores in the chat as of yet, but we have one thing from Kev saying, I can't score the book, but a solid 10 out of 10 for Liam's beard lights. It's been like watching a Twilight vampire sparkling in the sunlight. There we go. And we've got a score from Martin there. He says, I'm glad this got picked as I really enjoyed it. I love Brubaker's writing and the art was great. I will 100% read on ASAP as I want more from this story. It's an easy 7.5 for me. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Okay, over to me. This was definitely the best Christmas book we've had this month. 100%. 100%. Shane shaking his head. What is your...
It's not a Christmas book.
The naughty or nice the naughty list was amazing. We raved about that for an hour. The only reason it scored low is because it stopped.
Because it's bad. Anyway, in my opinion, this is the best book we've had in this month. Really good. I loved how natural it was, and I loved how am I using the right word here? Juxtaposing with how mundane some pages were, and then how completely mental some other pages were. in terms of the colours and the double page spreads and stuff like that. Like, I can't wait. Hopefully, you know, Shane, that's a great idea to see the other novels as, you know, full comics. But it reminds me of Klaus and how we were kind of mad at that. So I'm hoping, you know, we do get them and we're not just teased. Yeah, I love the mysticism of the whole story going forward. But then, yeah, the biggest part for me was the will they, won't they with Friday and Lance. But now it's a definitely won't they, because he's dead.
It's fried. It's crispy. It's a piece of coal now.
Yeah, I was hooked. I was intrigued. I read this all in one hit. Really good story. But yeah, cannot wait to read on. It definitely will be read on. But yeah, I can't give it a big score because yeah, this is essentially just a big origin, wasn't it? A 3-issue origin. But yeah, so it's going to be a 7 from me.
Nice.
Here we go. Okay, so we had Liam's score of 7.5 and Martin's score 7.5 to give you an average of 7.5. Adding that to Philip's 7, Shane's 7.5, and my 7 as well, we get an average of 7.3.
Ooh.
There we go. So, where's it come on the leaderboard? Let's have a gander. Dun dun dun. It's 3rd place. Whoa. There we go. It's our first 7.3 of the season.
Goodbye, naughty list.
Oh no. Bye bye.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, gutted.
I think you used to need to read that book again. But wait till the ending comes out and then read it again.
Till the ending comes out. So yeah, it's 3rd place. And you can see the rest of the leaderboard here as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Battle
Because it was that good. But there we go. We will tell you what we've got coming up in a minute. But Liam, I want to thank you very much for coming on and for choosing this book, and for wearing that sick hoodie as well. Being and the beard lights. I can't forget the beard lights. But yeah, thank you very much. And hope you come
Imagine
again.
that coming down after.
But yes, thank you very much. And let's go ahead and show you what we got coming up next week. Spoiler, it's not a Christmas book. Here we go. So next week it is Philip's pick. And Philip, what have you picked?
This is something that's been in my reading pile for a long, long time. Busting to read it. So why not do it now? It's Daredevil, Born Again, from 1986. It's a good year, that.
That's been in your reading pile for a long time.
Yeah. not since 86.
It's been ages, man. But like Martin has just said, it will be our final book of 2022. And it is the start of our next wave, so it's going to be a good one. But yeah, that is all we've got from us. Kevin won't be releasing a video this week. He's taking a Christmas break, and rightly so. But yeah, that's it. That's it from us. So all we've got left to do now is get your waves out.
Bye.
See you, everyone. Bye bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Love you.